Big Bacon. Welcome again to Big Bacon's Collection, coming to you from the wonderful Bacon Bunker. I'm your host, Big Bacon. Today we're going to be reviewing a G.I. Joe 4-inch action figure from the Rise of Cobra movie. Although this character didn't actually appear in the movie, this figure was apparently inspired by it. This is a 2009 release, Toys R Us exclusive, Firefly. This figure was part of their Hall of Heroes line, which really didn't last long. But, hey, we got some interesting figures out of it, so I can't complain too much. This figure here is basically a repackage with a slight repaint of the comic book version that came out with the 25th anniversary line. A little bit of paint change. Only major difference was in the style of the backpack. I picked this up loose at the quarterly meetup at Peddler's Post in Boulevard, Missouri. If you ever make it there, tell them Sparky sent you. As such, I didn't realize it until I got it home and inventoried it. I am actually missing the little multi-tool that this figure came with, which I'm okay with because he comes with so much stuff, there's nowhere for me to actually put it. It's also missing the large spring-loaded missile launcher and missile, which I never display with these figures anyways. They just look oversized and clunky. Now that being said, why don't we get into a look at the figure. So the hood definitely gives you that whole Firefly feeling. But the lack of any actual camouflage on the figure kind of takes that away in my eye. He does have this black vest, which is removable, but once you unplug these little things in here, they're a pain in the butt to get back on. Also has this little harness piece that you can take off as well, but once again, pain. So let's move on to the figure. So we've got this grayish colored base body look. The baklava is in that color. Got the skin tone showing through here. Paint on it is really decent for 2009. He does have this black protective vest. Got a nice texture up here on the top half. A nice silver painted Cobra logo here on the chest. Now they've sculpted this strap and this strap to try to make it look like it blends and attaches to this. It obviously doesn't, but we're gonna make believe. And the same thing in the back. Now these straps, all over the place. You can see that the paint just missed. It's just flooding out all over the vest piece itself. And it looks like there's actually a cross strap here that they didn't even paint at all. Silver grenade. They do have nice silver detail on some of these buckles, which for a stealthy saboteur, silver is actually the last thing that you want. He's got these shoulder armor plates. He's got the elbow plates and hand plates and knee pads. All these colors match up fairly well. Some of these parts actually look like they have got some nicks and scratches molded into them. See it really well over here. Yeah, got a couple rivet locations. The fact that they gave us elbow pads and then they actually put straps on to hold those in place. Same thing with the knee. I mean, it's just painted on, but it's a nice little attention to detail. As I said, the undersuit covers the entire body in this base gray color. Got these black boots with these stirrup shin covers. sculpting. I mean, they've got nice fabric folds and wrinkles in it. All in all, I mean, it's a nice looking figure. It just, first look, Firefly would not be my first thought. I would think some sort of funky gray ninja. But enough of that. Let's do the articulation real quick while we got him out. He does have just a simple ball at the top of the neck. And as such, there is no up or down. Only mild side to side, and I think that's because the ball is worn. Do have good rotation though. The arm itself articulates up to or above 90. Does rotate all the way around. Single jointed pinless elbow comes up to 90. Rotation at the elbow. The hands rotate, but there are no hinges in 2009. So the waist, it doesn't actually articulate at the waist. It articulates mid-torso, which is underneath this vest. But you still got some good rotation on it. And a little bit of forward and back. Doesn't hold real well, but it's there. Now, with this thing here, you still manage to get up to nearly 90 degrees out. Coming forward, the way it bends here, it's just kind of pushing it back into place. Straps on the back have purposely been molded in such a way that it kind of stretches so you're not fighting against it, but it's the spring from the forward strap that's keeping it from going up. Back, you got a little bit of back. Have a double hinged knee. No kind of cut or articulation anywhere on the leg. You got a little bit of rotation down here at the ankle point, but because of this stirrup piece, it's not doing anything. Same thing goes with the hinging on it. So articulation-wise, upper body's not bad. Lower body leaves a lot to be desired. Now, let's take a look at the gear real quick. We have this backpack, which most commonly is seen with Falcon, Lieutenant Falcon. He's got this rope sculpted on, but once again, you get up close and you see they painted the rope as well as everything around it. Canteens have silver caps, once again. Get up close, they painted everything around it as well. Simple peg to plug into the back. And it does actually have this little latching piece to close it. Now, why is it open? Next accessory is a small fuel can. Why? Because Firefly is a big fan of porno for pyros. And this happens to fit down in here fairly well. And you can close it. Still a gap. Say hello to my little friend, Plastic Explosive. Sculpt on this is minimalistic, but I mean, you could tell what it is. This thing actually got stuck in the backpack, and I think when it got yanked out, it just tore a bunch of the paint off with it. So it's a nice looking piece, but the paint didn't hold up well. But, oh, look at that. Oh, right there. Perfect. Next, we have a knife. Well, the paint on this is actually pretty good. Except once again, because of how long this thing sat in the pack when I went to pull it out, it decided to take some of the paint right there with it. But it does, it fits perfectly right there in the backpack. In the backpack, like I said, we just plug it into the back. Let's go ahead and get him on the stand. Although I did forget to point out that he does come with one of the traditional Rise of Cobra stands with his name embossed right there on the front. Nice Cobra emblem on the bottom. Looks like a dog tag. Isn't that special? So, next up, why don't we go ahead and do the shoulder bag. He does have an ammo satchel or an explosive satchel. Either way works. But that gap there in the front fits one of these ammo magazines perfectly. So we're just gonna sew this on him real quick. And that fits snugly right there underneath his arm. He comes with a rifle. Not a whole lot of detail to it. I mean, you could definitely make out what it is. Comes in the same color as the shoulder pads and the elbows and everything else accessory wise. And it does come with a detachable magazine. It just plugs right there in the magazine well. Both of those magazines that it comes with fit in there perfectly, and they both fit in the pack perfectly. Get your feet on the stand, dude. Next up, we have a flashlight. An actual honest-to-God flashlight. Not a, it's a suppressor, but I'm going to play with it like it's a flashlight. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Now, I have nowhere to put this on him, so he's actually going to hold this. And his last accessory is a set of goggles. Now, the comic pack version that this is based off of also came with goggles, but they came with a red lens, or red paint for the lens instead of yellow. So the stand, the backpack, and the goggles are your giveaways as to which version you got. So here he is all geared up. What do you say we get him up on the shelf? And until I can finish sculpting their risers, my 4-inch boys are sharing the shelf with the beefy boys. So there you have it. Once again, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, comment, all that fun stuff. Have I told you recently that I love you? I really do. By the way, don't forget to do that stuff. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you again next time.